Thank you for choosing the most advanced egg counter on the market, the Agrologic AL Series Egg Counter. In this video, we will show you how to check sensor calibration and operation. By checking the individual sensors, we can be sure sensors all have been calibrated correctly, are operating correctly, and the bottom sensor window is clean. The number of sensors is different for each counter. AL100 has 8 sensors, AL200 16 sensors, AL300 24 sensors, AL500 40 sensors. Place the white calibration sheet directly under the counter. The calibration sheet should cover the entire width of the counter. If using more than one white calibration sheet, be sure they overlap each other so that the conveyor is completely covered. Make sure the white calibration sheet is not moving. Press on the menu button until Check Sensor screen appears. Press on the Enter button to start the sensor check operation. Check will appear on the screen. The egg counter is now checking each sensor. Each sensor will be checked to see that it has successfully passed calibration and is operating correctly. Once all sensors have been checked, the results for each sensor will be displayed on the screen. All sensors that passed the sensor check will show SNS, sensor number, and good. If a sensor did not pass the calibration test, SNS, sensor number, and Cal fail will be displayed. The AL counter should be recalibrated. If a sensor is not operating correctly, SNS, the sensor number, and STB fail will be displayed. The AL counter should be recalibrated. If a sensor did not pass the calibration and data reading test, SNS, the sensor number, and S&C fail will be displayed. The AL counter should be recalibrated. Before starting the calibration process, check the following. Check that the white calibration sheets are completely covering the conveyor and overlapping and not moving. Check that the bottom sensor window is clean and dust-free. Check that there is no movement under the AL counter. If the AL egg counter is wider than the conveyor, all sensors that are not over the conveyor will read Cal fail. In this case, there is no need to recalibrate the AL counter. This will not affect the counter accuracy.